from the National Science and Technology Commission of China. Dear Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to offer my congratulations on the opening of the third large telescope workshop group meeting and the workshop. Now we are opening the LTW3 in conjunction with a workshop on the Spherical radio telescope. In this meeting, we will continue in developing the scientific case for the LT project and enriching the relevant research and development. Especially, our Chinese colleagues will present their works on the site survey in South Guizhou and study on the engineering concept for the passive spherical telescope. After the indoor session, we will start the unsupported investigation in the coastal region in Penticton and Penticton counties. LT 工作组会议期间已经召开2次了，去年1次是在英国的曼彻斯特大学，另一次是在荷兰的海牙。那么现在我们在这里，正式宣布 LT 第3次工作组会议，并球面射电望远镜研讨会开幕。那么在这次会议上，我们将继续发展这个 LT 项目的科学目标，研究它的总体设想和技术方案。特别是我们中国的同事们将为会议提交他们在过去1年中在这个选址方面和工程研究方面所做的工作。在学术讨论报告之后，我们将出发去平塘和普定2县做现场考察。
我代表贵州省人民政府对这次意义重大的国际会议在我省成功举办表示热烈的祝福，并对远道而来参加这次重要国际会议的国内外专家、代表、来宾和朋友们表示热忱的欢迎。
On one side is indicated our sensitivity, but it is a logarithmic scale, so every factors of 10 improvement. And what you can see is that over these 60 years of time, we have improved our sensitivity by many factors of 10. But what is a little worrying to many people is that this might have slowed down in the years from 1970 to 1980. Things are flattening a bit. And this is why I've indicated this other symbol down beyond the year 2000, where we hope we might make a new point on this plot with this large telescope project that we're discussing this week.
Cheese. Very done. One more, please.
And this is number density here per millijansky. And you see that we peaked up at about a couple of hundred sources, which is the level of detectability today. And we can also see from that plot that by no means have we run into a sensitivity wall. We're still at the point where increased sensitivity will bring us new sources. If you imagine the sensitivities that the square kilometer telescope provide, which is down here, we will, after the telescope has had a few years to observe, hopefully be faced with tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of new radio stars, as opposed to a few hundred today.
So I will talk mainly on I will mention data which have been obtained with the list of collaborators. And first, the equation of transfer with the absorption and the emission of kappa and J, which are So there's a symbol stars when it's for the LTE case, and there are departure from the LTE, non-LTE, with the factor Bn and beta n. Bn is the ratio of the along the line of sight, and the electron temperature. So the two major effects are the non-LTE effect. So with just a slight differential departure from the equilibrium of the lower level and the upper level may lead to population inversion and amplification of the line by stimulated emission.
From the extended continuous emission, which is also the reduce the dynamic spectral dynamic ability for the instrument.
So M82 is still the only example of the relatively low frequency case.
Yes, that's a nice example. So I did with the new instrument at low frequency, high sensitivity and high dynamic spectral
Spectral dynamic range.
Spectral dynamic range, it's very important.
An important subject that can be profitably studied using observations in the 21 centimeter line of neutral hydrogen of the emission of normal galaxies. And I wish to thank whomever made up the name of my talk for being so kind as to allow me much latitude in the choice of a specific topic. H1 work on normal galaxies has been a rewarding field of work. After pioneering work by Mort Roberts at Green Bank, the field moved to maturity with first the advent of arrays, which allowed to disentangle structural details in gaseous disks, teaching us much about the internal structure of galaxies and their interaction with neighbors. And B, with the first upgrade of the receiver telescope in the mid-1970s, which made possible extensive survey work on very large samples. The receiver telescope also became a main player in the field of large-scale structure of the universe, producing some 14,000 redshifts of nearby galaxies out to distances on the order, redshift on the order of about 15,000 kilometers per second, and playing a major role in our understanding of structure of clusters and superclusters of galaxies. In this decade, however, the redshift survey game is shifting rapidly to much higher redshift regime. And the advantages of, in order to take advantage of the great technical progress made in the design and construction of multi-fiber optical spectrographs.
Just to mention the range of possibilities there are. And in that concept, one of the concepts which was proposed by Jan Oordam, again from Guizhou, was the tile approach. And this you have to see as by 1 meter. And it helps in the rest of my talk if we think about this single element in the whole structure, because that of course is the cost driving element. If we have 1 by 1 meter, then we need about 1 million of them to realize a 1 square kilometer array. Probably we have to accept about a 50% loss in efficiency somewhere along the line, so it may be 2 million of these tiles. So that's the cost driver, and the question is how should that be realized? And one of the possibilities is to approach each tile
of the brightness temperature distribution and polarization of the non-thermal electric radio emission with the aim of analyzing the distribution of electron emission and matter-electric background screened by ionized hydrogen reagents, and the study of physical characteristics of the latter. Requirement is here. We expect to investigate the thermal and ionization state of the interstellar medium, its interaction with various types of radiation, evolution of the interstellar gas and clouds, including star formation regions by means of observations in low frequency recombination lines of various atoms and in the continuum.
The next one. Okay. You have the bad one. Yeah, that is the bad one.
say around you may realize the texture of the land. Yes, and then it's 500 between the top the hills at the top level, and the depth is around 100 to 250 meter. The depth. Yes, like that. It's different. That one is very big. It's unusual. Next one. Next one. All of them, they are similar. 相同的吧。If you are interested, you can spend more time here after the break.
70,000 square kilometers altogether. Area is just north of Anshan City. The distance is over 30 kilometers further away from the Penticton Railroad, the highway from Guizhou to the Guizhou and the temporary airport from Anshan, and is about 115 kilometers.
Each small circle stands for the depressions. So this speech will become less meaningful after the break. All of you already have seen the image. Now I show the image. Here you see all the depressions take the shape of anticone and they have dimension. The diameter from 300 to 500, that's around 500 meter, and depth from 100 to 250. This image also displayed there.
And the surface was replaced. A new surface of continuum solid panels, perforated panels, 40,000 panels about the size of this desk, were installed, and the telescope became with an RMS on the order of about 4 millimeters, and the telescope could function above 1 gigahertz. The telescope became a national geodesy. Basically, you just bring a lot of engineers, engineering students who measure the location of many targets on the surface, and then after that you spend several months adjusting the turnbuckle, tie-down cables underneath the surface. The surface is probably good to about 7 or 8 gigahertz, and it can be used with some large Gregorian system. Was built, tested, and was in operation for a few years in the late 80s, showing that the thing could work out. This is unfortunately a not very good view of the telescope. It's located in very rough karst terrain, very similar to the one that we just saw a while ago. In a natural depression with a radius of diameter of about 300 meters, and the most important part of the telescope is actually the suspended structure 150 meters above the primary, suspended from 3 sets of, until now, 4 cables each, cables with about cross-section of about 10 centimeters from each one of these 3 towers that are sitting on top of neighboring hills.
You can image the observed area anytime you like. Yes, that is true, but not before the correlation. That is not possible.
Well, I know I'm playing a bit of devil's advocate here, because we would, this quasar, we would like to have done the same. Okay, thank you.
So it's safe in shipping the tape. Yes. Save money from shipping, but it costs a lot to favor you. And is that possible for the
channels? So that is quite realistic, I think. The development is going on extremely fast now in this area. You can observe how easily you can communicate via internet nowadays, and how much data you can send. So, and the number of users in the internet is increasing, and still you get a very good result of this activity.
ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of this local organizing committee, it's my pleasure to extend a warm welcome to honorary guests and all of you for today's buffet. 尊敬的客人、女士们、先生们，我很高兴代表地方组织委员会对参加今天冷餐会的会客和所有的代表表示热烈的欢迎。There is a saying in China, a person read apple brings a distant land here. We are very happy to have a chance of gathering beautifully with so many friends from home and abroad. 中国有一句名言叫做“海难成知己，天涯若比邻”。今天我们能够同这么多的国内外朋友欢聚一堂，我们感到十分的高兴。In my opinion, this is not only a chance to exchange views, but also a chance to contribute to friendship between scholars of countries. 我认为这不仅可以相互交换意见，而且还有助于增进各国学者的友谊。Now, I should like to propose a toast for the friendship between us, for health and happiness of all the ladies and gentlemen present here. 现在我提议为我们之间的友谊，为所有在座的女士们、先生们的健康和幸福干杯！ Cheers！
I can say a few words in response to the very kind words that were reported already. I think all of us share in my feelings on this that we're very grateful for the hosts of this meeting to allow us this opportunity to learn together, to make progress technologically, and to get to know one another better. And I think I speak for everyone in this that we're very grateful for this opportunity.
And the deer and the antelope were seldom as heard scourging word. The skies are not cloudy all day. On the range where the deer and the antelope play. Where seldom is heard a discouraging word. The skies are not cloudy all day.
Parameter is the effective edge D1, D or D minimum. If we discuss with the long field that has been used for a long time at Arecibo, I think the length of the long field is L, and the depth of the with the Chinese angle, the maximum Chinese angle with side.
Since there exists path difference between different reflected rays, inline parabolic reflector, we cannot use a wide band source, such as a log period antenna as the element, but we can use the composed patches as shown in figure 2 to wet the core and to cover the whole working band. This is 3 and this is 4. So this frequency is higher than this, but not twice as much as this.
If we, according to this construction form, for example, 1 square meters, and we use the truss shape structure. So the electric reflected according to the law of reflection to the focal plane, and with another point we can obtain at the focal plane. Then we can consider some area because
the field dimensions of the hybrid fields are smaller than those of the standardized field or a single array field.
Truncate the aperture.
Which way is
that? Truncate the aperture and leave the wall there. You just drape it with wire and make it cold. And then, yes. That means you lose a little gain on one side, but you don't lose any. There is no. It's very easy to shield.
Right.
Anyway, we have some.
You put a nice visitor center, right? You have small ones?
No, it's very stable. You can see the map of the plate conic. It's not located in the gap. The gap is, I think, is in the east of the province, from Beijing to the southwest China. This part is very stable. It never happened. The buildings have never been destroyed by the nature geological disaster.
Near the ground from heavy rainfall, so you get subterranean cavities, and eventually they collapse. And it's the collapse of the subterranean cavity that then gives you these depressions on the surface. And then apparently the landscape is stable when this happens at these regular intervals, and you get the hills in between and the depressions, and then sort of a stable situation.
I find the rocks sometimes when they are really dark.
好像那个只有那个2021说的那个老先生上去了，都上去了，都上去了，都上去了，2个人先上去了，先上去了。
It is wonderful to be here amongst you.
这密切的乡亲们能够来到你们中间，感到非常好。
欢迎。We are overwhelmed by your hospitality.
我们被你们的热情所感动。
We have had a very enjoyable morning looking at the beautiful landscape that is so unique in the whole world. 所以倒适合，所以气一点的可以。这里还有一个这边，是不是？没得了。啊？没得了。
哦，在那前面。
小聂。
这里啊。
行不行吧？所以这张图是非常有纪念意义。他们这是他们自己用自己望远镜拍的，知道吗？整个就用他们的望远镜拍的，整个宇宙是这样。你往左推进。
他们过来，我们已经高了，高兴啊！高兴啊！我们已经高了，那我陪他。Cheers.
Cheers.
Yes. And there, that is the first place there is the top. And here is Yingqiao. Coverage all there. You cannot see nothing. Three.
Yeah, that terrain looks extremely rich and wealthy.
Yes, very rich. Quite a lot of.
Actually, only one we can. This one we can build several.
So Guizhou is up here.
Guizhou is over here.
我们没带嘛？
好了没有？好了，
全部。哎，这点宽，不错。抽到。
Exactly, it's a 30 Yeah, so just a map of the distribution.
Yes.
Oh, that's very nice. Okay, it's just
So where we are now.
in this area that these are the third tests that.
This is a probably the Photoshop.
Like a brain.
This Casper area is very good solitary.
Yes, there is a telescope. I worked at Arecibo in Puerto Rico for many years.
So
the telescope on the side there is very similar to this.
To Arecibo, very similar.
It's very similar.
So you think the shape is very regular and
yes, it's a very.
So
it will be fine. It will be a fine place.
Yeah, so that is to say it's much easier to build a telescope here instead of some, for example, not for example, if the shape is not so regular, it will.
Well, the best place is one that is perfectly regular, so that you have to remove very little. For example, there is some work to do. That protrusion there makes it. It means that much rock, much material will have to be removed. But seeing what people have done to build this road, I think it wouldn't be much of a problem.
No problem. I think completely, and you can show that you can see the local people support science work. You see, they work hard for this road.
Yes. 基本上都跑到了。
都跑了。
这个人也花不多，因为一个专业研究机构，他们原来这个他们所长，搞了10几20年啊，别人听了都是心中有数。
你们得寄给我们。
多少年子？
我们家就全部没收了。
还这么早？
还没有。
请问望远镜工作会议及球面望远镜学术研讨会在贵阳隆重召开了。
The third line principle working group and the Spherical telescope conference held in Guizhou. Here are shown our work screen.
为了天文事业的发展，各位专家不远万里来到坡地，感愤之情如今油然而生。
You come here from so far away in order to study the part of astronomy.
女士们和专家。
Now I propose to choose the friendship between us. Yes.
下面。
Ladies and gentlemen, friends and guests.
今天第3届国际大型望远镜及球面射电望远镜国际研讨会已经完成了预定的计划，即将顺利的闭幕了。
Today, the third large telescope working group meeting and the workshop on spherical radio telescope have completed most of its scheduled programs and will soon come to a successful close.
请允许我代表贵州省人民政府和以我个人的名义，对于会议的圆满成功的闭幕表示衷心的祝贺，和对各位来参加会议的各国和我们国内的专家和朋友们表示亲切的问候。
At this moment, please allow me, on behalf of the provincial people's government and in my own name, to extend our sincere congratulations to the meeting and at the same time to give our very best regards to all the astronomers and scientists from home and abroad.
我们贵州是亚热带强烈喀斯特化的高原山区，发育了星罗棋布的风城洼地。中国科学院北京天文台、中国科学院遥感所和贵州省科委此前做了大量的最有成效的调查和考察。
Guizhou is located in a subtropical karstic area plateau with a lot of karstic depressions all over its area. The Beijing Observatory and Remote Sensing Institute, Ground Station, and Guizhou Provincial Committee of Science and Technology have together conducted fruitful investigations and research works.
推荐了我们省的平塘、普定2个县为球面射电望远镜工程的选址。这几天，各位代表到实地进行了考察活动，亲自领略了我们贵州多姿多彩的自然景观。我衷心的希望各位对贵州独特的喀斯特风城洼地能够引起兴趣，并给予关注和重视。
And they decided to recommend Penticton County and Penticton County in this province as the possible site for the construction of a large telescope. In the last couple of days and early today, you have conducted on-spot inspections to this area, and you have been enjoying the beautiful natural scenery of our province.
为了推进国际大型射电望远镜工程，为了这项宏伟的跨世纪的国际合作科学计划的项目， 我们贵州省人民政府和全省3400多万各州人民将尽我们最大的努力，积极的响应和全力的支持。
I sincerely hope that the unique karstic geology of this province has aroused your attention, and Guizhou Provincial People's Government and the 34 million Guizhou people of different ethnic minorities will do their best to provide help and support to the work of building a large telescope in the near future.
Honorable hosts and people of Guizhou province.
尊贵的主人们，贵州省的主人们，
Please accept our heartfelt thanks for the very warm welcome which you have given us.
请接受为了你们给予我们的非常的热情的接待，请接受我们衷心的感谢。
We have spent only a short time exploring your beautiful province, but we have been extremely impressed with what we have seen.
我们在贵州只进行了非常短暂的探索工作，但是我们所看到的给予了我们非常深的感动。
A fantastic geology that is unique in the world, and the warm, hospitable people who have overwhelmed us with their beauty, their spirit, their kindness, and their song.
那就是奇妙无穷的地形地貌，这个在世界上是独一无二的。还有给予我们非常热情接待的人们，他们的内在美和外在美，他们的热情善良以及他美妙的歌声，深深地打动我们。
The great efforts of so many people to make our meeting and visit a success are almost impossible for us to believe.
如此多的人们为了我们的这个会议和访问取得成功，做出了非常大的努力，这使我们几乎不敢相信是可能的。
In addition, there have been the smaller, but very visible efforts of a vast multitude who have blessed us with their smiles along the way.
另外，一路上我们看到了大多数的广大的群众所做的，虽然是比较小，但是显而易见的努力，他们的笑容，他们的努力，深深地打动了我们。
We are only astronomers. We study the heavens to learn how the universe has come to be as it is.
我们是天文学家，我们研究宇宙和学习宇宙是怎样形成的。
We do not have vast sums of money, but we do have ideas and we have dreams.
我们控制不了大额的金钱。
We're clever and work very hard. Those dreams can be transformed to reality. To be successful, our project will require a greater degree of international cooperation than has ever before been achieved. Even so, we are hopeful that the time may be right for success. New technologies and techniques are emerging, partially through our own efforts, which hold great promise for this project. The climate for international cooperation is improving so rapidly that there is cause for optimism. Thank you again for an unforgettable opportunity to learn to know one another better. And please join me in a toast to our combined success.